One of my favorite things to do with garlic when I get it up is to make a garlic braid. The thing that I love about it most is they store really good and they look great hanging on the wall. They make a really good gift and they're great to take to farmers markets. I'll go through the steps twice, once with a talk through and once just braiding, because it actually takes a little bit to learn. Once you get your garlic pulled up, you want it to just dry for a few days. That way it makes it easier for it to braid. And these particular ones here are turban, so they are considered a hard neck, but I can actually break this neck up and make them totally braidable. And I love the turbans because they have a great color and they look great braided. Some of these garlics I've left the scape on because I like the way they look when I'm finished braiding. After you pull them and before you braid them, you'll want to lay them out or even hang them so that they can dry just a little bit. This just decreases the size of the leaves and makes them more flexible and a lot easier to braid. Clean your garlic, make sure that you don't have any dirt in the root system. And I'll just take my garlic and I'll rub it right on the grass, and that really cleans it really quickly, gets all of the little dirts out of the nooks and crannies. If you want a cleaner look, you can actually trim these roots off. Just make sure that you don't trim them too close to the garlic because then it isn't going to keep very well. As I'm cleaning, I just kind of take off some of the loose layers of the skin. That way it just looks a little bit better. And I like to leave the roots on because it just gives it that rustic appeal. Don't use any that are marred like this guy here. For one, they're not going to keep very well, and they're not very pretty in the braid. I've already picked out my biggest bulbs that I'll be saving to be planting in the fall time. You'll need a minimum of 10 nice bulbs to create a good garlic braid. And then after that, if you want a bigger braid, go in increments of 3. So you start with your 10, 13, 16, 19, 21, and so on. Then I pick the next biggest bulbs because I like the way the big bulbs look in these braids. But the small bulbs work good too. You want all of your bulbs to be about the same size. It just makes it a little bit easier to braid. But if you've got all different sizes of bulbs, then go ahead and start with your biggest bulbs first and you'll be ending with your smallest bulbs. Our first 3 bulbs that we lay down and wrap are the most important because this is our locking knot. So we've got to make sure that we get this correctly because we don't use any rope or twine or anything to hold this together. The garlic will all be woven together and hold itself nicely. So the first one we're going to do is we're going to lay it crosswise. With our left hand, it's going to be facing out and our leaf is going to come into our knee. And then our next one's just going to cross right over with the leaf coming to our knee. We'll snug those in just a little bit. We'll lay one right over the top and then our leaf is going to be in the center. This is the most important part. This is your locking knot. So we're going to take our right hand with that right leaf and we're going to wrap it around number 1 and number 2. So that's going to create our locking knot. We want this to be fairly tight so we can make it to where it's more snugged in. Lock it around and then just kind of pull everything in nice and tight. That's going to tie it. That way we don't have to use any type of string or anything else. So our next one is going to go right in the middle. So it's going to kind of lay right on the top of that center one, and the leaves are going to follow right in with the other leaves in the middle. So we're going to take our left hand and grab the left side and we're going to bring that over, and that will be the new middle. This will stay here, this head will stay here. Now our next one we're going to add to the right side. The leaf is still going to stay in the middle. We're going to nestle it right in amongst those. We're going to take our right leaf and cross over and make it our middle, so it should be all by itself. Then the next one we're going to add is going to go on the left side. The leaves are going to go in the middle with the single guy right here. We'll nestle him in, and then our left hand is going to cross over, and those 2 leaves will be our new middle set of leaves. Now you can see we have a center here that's kind of a gap, and we're going to put in our next garlic right there. So we'll nestle him right in there. We'll take our right hand, cross over just like a braid, and the tighter you do this, the better it will look and the better it will hold. So the next one is going to go on the left side, but remember these leaves are always going to go in the middle. And then our left hand's going to cross over. So our next one's going to be added on the right, the leaf in the middle, right set of leaves is going to go over. Now we go in the middle, and the left is going to cross over. And now we're going to add to the right with the leaves in the middle, and a right's going to cross over. Now we're going to go to the left, leaves in the middle, and the left side's going to cross over. Now we're going to end up with one in the middle right there. That'll be our finishing tie. So we're going to take our right and move it over, and now we're just going to braid like we normally braid. And the tighter you do this in the beginning, the tighter it'll be and the better it's going to look. No string needed with that nice little lock that we did in the very beginning. Now it's ready for some embellishments. I've got some lavender, some pin cushion, and some poppy seed pods. These look really good as embellishments, but you can find anything in your yard. Leaves like eucalyptus or even rose hips look really good. These braids will last about 10 months, and when you start to use them, and you should use them, some people don't like to because they're too pretty, wait a couple of weeks and then work from the bottom up. Okay, we're gonna go through it without any talking, and you can just watch, because watching it a second time, you kind of get it after that.